No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. Temptation is anything that pulls us away from that which is good, and then the rest is really up to us how we respond or act. It doesn't matter if you're a saint or a sinner, if you're young or old. As long as you're alive, no one is free from temptation. Look at the story of Peter's denial, Luke 22, verse 54 to 62. Even Peter, one of Jesus' closest disciples, gave in to temptation and denied Jesus 3 times. Yet, he was forgiven and went on to do great things for God. Temptations can be small and annoying, like, should I take this whole bag of food? But they can also be serious and lead to things that ruin your peace, relationships, family, marriage, health, career, or even your life. Or worse, someone else's. Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. The second thing to remember is this: temptations pull us away from what is good, what is true, loving, or life-giving. But sometimes we focus too much on the bad things temptation leads us to, and not enough on the good things it's pulling us away from. Here are 10 tips to help us deal with those annoying temptations. When we think of temptations, we usually think of the obvious ones, like lust, overeating, drinking, drugs, laziness, gossip, greed, anger, or jealousy. But there are also less obvious ones, like negativity, criticism, judgment, resentment, discouragement, envy, vanity, dark thoughts, overthinking, and the 2 big ones, doubt and self-pity. If you read the story of David and Bathsheba, 2 Samuel chapter 11, David's temptation led to adultery and murder, showing how even small temptations can spiral into serious consequences. Once we know what tempts us, we need to figure out what triggers it. Maybe it's a person, place, or thing. Maybe it's a mood or feeling, like boredom, laziness, or loneliness. But let's be honest, 99.9% of our triggers come through one thing: our portable, pocket-sized gateway to all the temptations in the world. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Know your triggers, remove or avoid the ones you can, and have a solid plan ready for the ones you can't. Temptation is always right outside your door, waiting for the perfect moment to knock. It never gets tired, it knows all your weak spots, and it's always ready to strike. Your best chance to stop it is right here, at the door. It starts with a thought. And if we let our imagination run with it, it brings a little pleasure or excitement. Then it becomes a strong pull. Finally, we give in. This is how the enemy gets in. Abstain from all appearance of evil. Only a fool takes chances. Make your stand here at the door, because once temptation gets inside, it's almost impossible to stop. Always remind yourself that no matter how strong or annoying a temptation feels, it will always pass. There's a saying, the devil who knocks and knocks but finds no entrance will eventually get bored and leave. I've found it takes about 23 minutes for the urge to fade. So the next time you're fighting temptation, set a timer for 23 minutes and go do something else. The best weapon to destroy temptation is Some temptations are so deeply wired into our brains and bodies that we quickly realize our own strength and willpower aren't enough. The real strength comes from surrendering, not to the temptation, but to the one who has infinite power, God. Submit yourselves, then, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Now I know some of you might be thinking, I've prayed and prayed, but it doesn't help. Think of it this way. When temptation hits, Our willpower starts to lose control. It becomes wild and restless, like a hyper puppy. But what happens when you place that puppy in its mother's arms? It calms down, becomes peaceful and still. But he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Temptations teach us something about ourselves. They show us what's really going on inside and point out what's broken or needs work. And here's the thing, temptation builds strength. At first, we can barely handle the small ones, but over time, we get stronger and can handle the big ones, and even help others with theirs. Think of every temptation as a chance to grow stronger. Temptations also keep us humble. Let's be honest, we all think we're amazing these days. Temptations remind us that we're not perfect and that we need God's help. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Beating temptation boosts your confidence. Think about how you feel after giving in to temptation versus how you feel after resisting it. It's a world of difference. The greatest people are those who face their demons and win. No one becomes great by having an easy life. See every temptation as a stepping stone to becoming better and rising above who you are now. If you only trim the surface of a problem, you'll only make small progress. We need to dig deeper and get to the root cause. Usually we focus too much on whether we're succeeding or failing with temptation and not enough on why it's happening in the first place. I don't know what that root cause is for you. It could be unresolved trauma, family issues, anger, fear, loneliness, or just having too much free time. But for most of us, it probably comes down to a lack of real purpose and meaning in our lives. Dig deep, find the root, and don't be afraid to get help if you need it. We'll never be completely free of temptation, at least not in this life. But with calm, patient, and brave endurance over time, we can master it. It won't happen overnight. Just focus on getting through the next 23 minutes, then the next hour, then the next day, then the next week. No battle was ever won by running away. Sure, avoiding temptation might buy us some time, but eventually, we'll end up right back where we started, or worse. At some point, we all have to face our temptations. Temptations often come from a lack of confidence, not just in our own strength, but in God's. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. So the next time you're battling temptation, imagine yourself standing face to face with it. Take control. Don't let it beat you down, you beat it down. And not just with your own strength, but with God's. And finally, we're all going to fall sometimes. When it happens, go easy on yourself. Don't beat yourself up or let worry, anxiety, or fear take over. Those are just more temptations. Just get back up and keep going. Remember the story of the prodigal son, Luke chapter 15, verse 11 to 32. This story shows God's unconditional love and readiness to restore us no matter how far we've strayed. No matter where you are or what you've done, God is waiting to welcome you back with open arms and restore your purpose. When you're down for the millionth time, you'll hear two voices, one from above, accusing you, condemning you, and kicking you while you're down. The other from right there in the dirt with you, full of compassion, forgiveness, and love, saying, "Come on, I love you, let's do this together." If we confess our sins, He is faithful and just and will forgive us our sins and purify us from all unrighteousness. Temptation is anything that pulls us away from what is good, what is true, what is loving, what is life-giving. And these things are just another name for what we call. Jesus answered, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me."